Assalamualaikum and good evening. We from Group 2 will present about soil cultivation. For the subject HRT 3410, Farm Practice Vegetable Production. Next. This group, our group members, one of Faizah Farzana, FARAH SYAZANA, NURHUSNINA, NAZLEY, Muhammad FAEZ, Muhammad SHAAKIR, and me, HAIZAL AMRI. Next. Next. For the introduction, soil cultivation is a method of growing vegetable with the need of soil as a rotting medium. Next. Next. Okay, for the objective, first, the objective is to identify method of planting vegetable on soil culture. Second, to create entrepreneurship among a student. Last, the objective is to determine the responsibility of the student to take care of the plants. Next. This is a process. Next. Okay, first we must doing seedlings. Planting vegetable can use two methods, direct seedling or transplanting. We use a transplanting method. Next. Okay, the importance of transplanting. First, it have increased the number of seedling that can be grown in a smaller amount of a space. Second, transplanting, we can get a higher seed success rate. Last, it more resistant to insect and other pest pressure.
Okay, next is bedding. Raising a plant bed is a requirement in internal work of the soil preparation process before planting works. The importance of raising bedding is to prevent stagnant water, increase soil fertility by increasing soil erosion, facilitate weed control, and also incite for disease control activity. Next. Okay, this picture shows the activity of raising the boundary to loosen the lump of soil to improve underground ventilation. Next is liming. Liming is the application of the soil of calcium and magnesium. It is rich in various forms, includes mud, chalk, limestone, burnt lime, and hydrate lime. Liming also can improve aggregate stability of clay soil. For this purpose, structure lime produce contain calcium oxide or hydroxide in mix with calcium carbonate are often used. Structure liming can reduce loss for clay and nutrients from soil aggregates. Next. Okay, this picture shows the activity of soil lime powder on the border to balance the value of acidity present in the soil. Okay, next is organic fertilizer. Organic fertilizer are ecologically sound and environmentally safe and last longer in the soil than chemical ones. It is not harming to soil, but benefit both the crops grown in it and the wildlife that live in it. They are available as powder, ground manure, or pellets, which are the easiest to use. Next. So this picture shows that our group using organic fertilizer, which chicken dung, over the rising beds after applying the liming in the soil.
Okay, for irrigation, The irrigation system is a requirement in providing water to plants. An irrigation system is essentially an artificial means of providing water directly to plants or indirectly via land or soil. Irrigation system come in different types such as sprinkler system and drip irrigation system. It is important in growing crops, landscape maintenance, as well as the vegetation of disturbed soil in dry areas and during periods of inadequate rainfall. Next. Okay, for a project, we use the sprinkler system. First, we install the PVC pipe from the main pipe to the raised bed area, and then we install the sprinkler to the PVC pipe. And lastly, we tie the sprinkler to a wooden pole so that it will not fall down. Next.
I will explaining about transplanting. First, transplant in horticulture is where the plant or tree will removed from one location and received in the ground at another. Transplanting is commonly practiced as a method of weed control for wet or puddled fields. For transplanting, it's required less seed but much more labor compared to direct seedling. Best time for transplant is early in the morning or late in the evening, or also can in a cloudy day, because at the day it require less direct sunlight. For in our transplanting, we first we have plant the water spinach. We have transplant it on 25th November 2021 in the evening, and for the other such as pak choy and kangkung, we have transplant it in 26th November 2021 in the morning. For mulching, mulching is a long-established horticultural practice that involves spreading a layer of material on the ground around plants. It is to protect their roots from heat, cold, or drought, or to keep the plant clean. Purpose of mulching also to block the light and suffocate the weeds. It is also to retain the soil moisture, so it will reduce the water loss. In the picture show that we are using cocoa pit as mulch. Cocoa pit also very well suited for use as mulch. It will absorb water and release it into our plants to keep our plant dehydrated and also adds nutrients back into our soil as component. As compost, we has put the cocoa pit along the beds and cover up the beds with cocoa pit as well.
Okay, for thinning, in agriculture, thinning is the removal of flower, fruits, shoot, and seedling or young plants selectively to allow sufficient space for the remaining organ or plants to grow efficiently. When growing vegetable with seed, we use thinning as a technique to maximize germination and production. This will ensure we have all the plant we want to plant and more. Okay, in the fourth previous slide, please. In the fourth week, thinning is done after transplanting vegetable seedling. In the fifth week, thinning is done again because there is too dense vegetable space. Next slide. Okay, for thinning activity, on the first time of thinning, the tight seed to provide growth space. On the second time of thinning, we segregated dense vegetable to reduce competition in vegetable growth. Okay, next.
Okay, for harvest. Harvest is a process of gathering a mature crop from the fields. We use hand harvesting method. We harvest the vegetables, the leafy vegetables on 17 December 2021 for spinach and water spinach. On 20 December 2021, we harvest pak choy. The characteristic when we want to harvest, the leaves need to be firm and mature at about 6 inches long. Okay, next. The ideal time for harvest is early in the morning or late in the evening, as it has a cooler temperature that can reduce the amount of heat generated by the product. It can prevent water loss on the vegetables. We need to avoid harvesting when the sun rises because vegetables will wither quickly and limp. Next. Okay, post-harvest. Post-harvest handling is the process of cooling, cleaning, sorting, and packing crops. To avoid contaminating, we discard any veggies that show symptoms of disease or rot. And then we clean the soil, weeds, or dirt that is on the roots of plants. Next, we wash the vegetables to ensure it is hydrated and looks clean. Then we arrange vegetables in a basket to do a selection of vegetables according to size and its freshness. We weigh using a commercial mechanical weighing scale to obtain a weight that consists kilo. Next. Lastly, we packing in a shady area to avoid excessive heating of the product. And then we need to minimize mechanical damage during the post-harvest, such as minimize contact with the product, prevent the vegetables from falling, and rough handling that can cause bruise, and it will decrease the quality of the products. We pack in plastic bag that can enhance food hygiene and extend shelf life of the product.
Thank you, Farah, for your presentation. Now, I would like to continue the presentation about selling. As we all know, we saw 3 types. Another name we call kale, and the last one is pak choy. For water spinach, we sell in 3 different weights, such as 1 kilogram, 700 gram, and 500. 700 gram, 5 ringgit, and 500 gram, 3 ringgit. Next, for spinach, we saw 1 kilogram for 8 ringgit and 500 gram for 4 ringgit. And the last one is pak choy. Our group sold it for 200 gram for 3 ringgit. Next. Platform that we use to blast our sale delivery or COD, service for UPM, Seri Serdang, and area around our campus. The vegetables that we harvest are very fresh from the farm, and we also have freshness. The profit that we gain from selling vegetables is 158 ringgit. Next. Conclusion, soil cultivation techniques show us how to recognize planting strategies for vegetables. For this semester, we planted water spinach, pak choy, and spinach, or we call kale. Entrepreneurship among students, and the importance of understanding how to keep the veggies fresh after harvest plants from the time we begin transplanting until they are sold to the customer. That's all from us. Thank you.